Hello, I am the Dream Envoy, and welcome back to more of Let's Play Winds of Change. Last time we went to the Grand Tree and, despite all odds, we did find some information. Namely, we found Milus's diary, which had such adorable information about his father disappearing and meeting these rebels and getting entrusted with the sword and... Aww. Anyways, we decided that we're gonna head back to Main Street and leave Valenorth in search of, well, Milus actually. I guess it's time to us to take the other path, I guess. The flames have spread, but it's not too bad. I need to make sure I don't inhale too much smoke. Yeah, you don't want to get cancer that way. As we take slow, cautious steps, my mind is conflicted. There's one thing I can't seem to get off my mind. This blade, or whatever. Was it worth all this? Destroying an entire culture over something so simple? You know, yes, I agree. I mean, they're implying that what did they call it? The triumvirate or something? That they needed the sword in order to rule, but I don't understand how a sword would give them power.
Sorry, I can't see all that well. You two will have to lead the way. I'm not as familiar with the surroundings.
We crouch and make our way through Valenorth. I have a rising urge to cough, but I try to hold it back. We wouldn't want to make it this far and get caught. Why, are you afraid that there are still, soldiers around? Those empty armor? The water tank is cracking and leaking its contents. A small stream trickles down through the village. This would be our best tool to hinder the flames. Only that small amount?
This isn't right. Not at all. Where is everyone, Ulrich? There's not a single body.
Like I said, they probably fled to safety. We need to do that too, and fast. There's nothing left for us here in Valenorth.
It doesn't make any sense, though. Think about it for a second. In that alcove, we heard screams. The people of Valenorth dying. Not only burning, but getting attacked. There should be bodies all over the place.
That too is very disturbing. She was right, and it bothered me as well. Like, what, did they vaporize or something? The current scent didn't match what we heard. Scent. The current scene didn't match what we heard. Was it possible for visions to warp this way?
What are you suggesting, Valessa? Do you think they stole the bodies?
Maybe.
If they did, there'd be blood. There's nothing. Not even a trace. Doesn't make any sense, Ulrich.
Okay, well, back to my original assumption. They vaporized.
We have protocols for this kind of emergency. There should have been people in the Grand Tree, even if it was those too stubborn to shun tradition.
Why is it so important, Valessa? You seem to think everybody disappeared. We should go to Peregrino. There must be survivors. I doubt we'll find answers in Valenorth. We're on the right track, so let's not waste time. We can reach Peregrino in a couple of hours.
Peregrino. It made sense, and finally our goals aligned. Searching for information and getting to safety. Survivors could be our biggest source of information.
Besides, I'm sure that Milus will be there. He can tell you everything, Valessa. I'm sure he knows what's going on.
Is a good enough plan of action, and we nod to one another. But as we continue our move, everything changes. Ah, are you having a chuckle? Did you think of a funny joke?
Such loyalty to the man who condemned you all. If you want to know where Milus is, I'd love to show you. I can even reunite you with the rest of the villagers.
Did we meet you back in part 1? A name I actually remember! Sovi! Are you Sovi? We stop in our tracks and look at the water tank. A silhouette of a man stands there, gripping a large blade. You know, I guess those are just tree branches, but it looked like a roof there, so I'm like trying to imagine, wait, how could you be on top of the water tank? There's a ceiling there. It's white and gold, with majesty embellished by the flames. It reminds me of the suits of armor we fought earlier. I have no doubt that there was some sort of relation. We must be looking at the man responsible for this. He jumps down for the water tank and lands in a roll. I take a few steps back, ensuring that Ulrich remains in the front. If his job was our protection, now was the time to shine through.
What a pitiful little village. It's no fun when they don't put up a fight. Did you know what they did in their final moments?
Sophie! You are pretty handsome, but man, you are a sadist.
They called out to you, Seer. They wanted your help, and you let them down. I guess the stories I heard about you were wrong.
Don't mock me.
Sylvie, you already have the blade. Let us leave. We can resolve this peacefully.
No survivors. Don't you remember the rule? Like a garden, we have to pluck all the weeds.
Well, that's overly ruthless.
Is that all these people are to you? Sylvie, they have a culture and history.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's not theirs that I'm interested in. In fact, I'm only here to claim the Seer's soul. Everything else was just for fun, for sport.
Well, aren't you a dick? This becomes personal, as they seem to know each other. They both worked for opposing forces. I'm sure they've fought before. Sickens me that he likens killing the villagers to a sport.
You don't mean...
My orders had nothing to do with burning down this village. I wasn't supposed to kill anyone unless I had to, either. But you know, my apprentice isn't very fun to train with.
Disgusting. Valessa, take the seer and run. I'll catch up with you at Peregrino.
Oh, by the way, Sylvie, your apprentice is also very fucked up. Ulrich pulls out his blade and assumes a fighting stance. Sylvie does the same, and their eyes meet in a deadlock. I look at Valessa and we nod before starting to run. Unfortunately, we don't make it very far. We heard Ulrich scream and turned back to look. I didn't want to, abandon Ulrich, but okay. Sylvie smirks at us, his blades deep in Ulrich's abdomen.
Where do you think you're going, you two? It would be rude to leave before I'm done with you. Watch, and you'll see why you can never win.
With a grin in his face, he twists the blade inside Ulrich. Defying all possibility, the gear on his blade starts to... Is it the sword from the title screen? If that's the case, I guess the blade I'm carrying isn't the sword they're looking for. Soon after, everything is engulfed in a blinding white light.
Please, run.
We heard Ulrich's final words as the light subsides. When everything is back to normal, he's completely... So that's what's happening! They weren't vaporized. They were either teleported or just... erased. No blood, no body, just Sophie standing there with blind.
What? What did you do?
Something really fucked up.
I put his spirit to good use. Like I planned to do with your little friend.
He points behind us and we turn to look. The scattered pieces of armor on the ground start to move. Oh no, don't tell me. They assemble, forming bodies that move in a slow, swift fashion. Don't tell me that those empty armor are the spirits of the villagers we were... Oh no. After a few moments, the moments became more natural. It isn't much longer until an army of automations block our path. There was nowhere to go, so we blocked the other side.
You're using the spirits to power that armor. Does that mean we've been fighting our own?
Now you finally understand. The force of life itself bends to the triumvirate. There's no way that you could hope to stop us.
Finally? I mean, it was a thought that was kind of rolling in my head, but okay. He takes slow steps toward me, holding up his blade. I finally understood why it was so important to the triumvirate. They could command an army of spirits simply by possessing it. Yeah! Now I understand!
As soon as I harvest the seer's soul, I'll leave. Valessa, if you behave, I might let you go. Visit the rebels. Tell them what's coming.
This is it. If he attacked me, the vision would end. I was armed with all the information I needed to counter this attack. Are we sure? The true purpose, the major players, and even the nature of the blade. He was so certain of his victory, he had no idea. He took a step forward, embracing what was to come. Dude, no. Cause you know what would be really messed up? Is if this isn't a vision, this was reality, and this is a game over. When the future came to Valinor, we would be reality. He throws the blade inside of me with little effort. Oh, game over! The pain is so intense, but I'm overcome with hope. Do you feel the pain in a dream? I don't think so! As my vision fades, I find the strength to say one final thing. You've already lost. Valinor will never fall to you. I think this is more epic. Foreshadowing. This is pretty good foreshadowing. And a prologue. My eyes shoot open and I instinctively clutch my glut. The pain from the vision lingers, pulsing through my body. Panting heavily, I scream in pain, waiting for it to fade. I fall to the side of my bed and slam into the floor. Okay, so it was a vision. Thankfully, this makes me fully lucid, stopping from the pain. For a moment, it's as if I existed in both scenarios. Rise to a sitting position, focus on my breathing. Man, that must have been one lucid dream. Still in shock at what happened, my heart beats frantically. Takes a while before it slows down, but I happily wait. When these negative feelings subside, I stand up. The vision I just experienced plays on a loop in my head. I had to warn Milas. I had to ensure this didn't happen. A knock sounds at my door, and I lock up in fright. After what I just saw, my mind is filled with anxiety. Thankfully, a voice calls out to me. I'm put at ease.
Hey, Seer! Open up! Don't make me wait all day again.
It's He's my friend and Valessa's student. As my scribe, she had to train a backup, so to speak. A terrible scenario to plan for, but it had to be done. I rushed over to the door and quickly unlock it. Why am I getting Chrono Cross flashbacks? Like when Surge, had a dream of the future. That's how the game Chrono Cross started. Anyways, watch through the door and quickly unlock it. Welcoming in, I notice a huge grin on his face. I feel relaxed. It's a brief reminder of safety.
Did you just wake up? Oh, jeez. I hope we won't be late. Don't tell me you forgot what day it is.
Your birthday? Also, Bunny! According to your smell, it's no math day. You're here, so it's cute diet. Whatever it is, you'll have to refresh my memory.
Huh? Did you forget? Oh well, I don't blame you. There's lots going on lately.
Can I tell you about the dream that I had last night? You know, the one where I got stabbed and turned into a spirit?
You're being officially inducted. You know, the ceremony to brand you as a seer? It should have happened ages ago, but stuff got in the way.
Hey, speaking of me being a seer and visions on all this, can I tell you about how our village is going to be burned down? Over a freaking blade?
Let's not delay it anymore, alright? Just sign this paper before we go. Milas wants it. Consent for the ceremony.
Oh, cool, Miles! Did you know that he's working for the rebellion and has been housing that said sword this entire time? You know, the sword that stabbed me in the abdomen and turned me into, living armor? We can enter our name now? All this time I thought that this game was just gonna be referring to me as you or something or whatever. Huh. Now it makes me want to think. What name should I go by? I could use my real name, Robert. I could use my username, which is Dream Envoy. Or I can use my Sona's name.
Thanks. This is exactly what I'll need. Put on something fancy. I'll wait outside.
Aw, you're not gonna say my name? That's understandable. I reach out and try to stop him, but he's already gone. It's for the better though, as he mustn't know what I saw. Am I sure about that? I think I should warn his... Then again, if I just do that, I could end up going into a panic. Cause everyone to go into a panic. And you know, it might end up be worse. It probably would be best to... but the only other person I could tell it would be Milas, but... If I tell Milas and tell Milas that I know that he's working for the rebellion, what would happen then? The only people authorized to know were Milas and Valessa. Well, definitely telling Valessa, but... Milas? I mean, if we're going to, like, go right into it and, you know, fight for the rebellion, then... Yeah, sure, tell Milas, but... I'll make Valessa a priority first. I walk over to my wardrobe to look for an outfit. As for pointed out, I'm still in my small clothes. If it was a big day, I guess I'd have to dress for the part. What should I wear? Elegant menswear. Tempting, but you know what? I'm not a transvestite. That should be a nice choice. I slip into menswear and turn back to my room. I take everything at once. It's a huge mess. Once I meet Flair, I feel horrible if somebody actually had that name in real life and I've been, you know, making fun of him this whole time. I'm sorry, I just don't know how to... Is it Fortame? Fortame? Might be busy for a while. I should finish up at any last minute business while I can. But at the same time, I should not keep him waiting for long. Oh, cool. 3 books! Well, I see one book over there. One of my books. On the creation of Alestia. Algus Veilur is one of the most famous scholars in the world. I tried to collect some of his works, but he wrote so much.
On Alestia's creation. There are many theories on when Alestia came into existence. None have any foolproof evidence and are merely based on personal belief and the conviction of the individual. The most popular, however, is the belief that the Triumvirate created our world. This theory is strengthened by the fact that no history or records of history exist prior to their rule. Therefore, the passage of time on our world is measured by how many years have passed since the first recording of known history, the Triumvirate's arrival. But, as the lack of evidence cannot be considered evidence itself, this is a topic of hot debate. The answer does not seem to be within our reach, and many scholars who dedicated their lives to this knowledge have since given up and moved on. As everyone on Alestia lives in a relative peace, these pursuits are considered a waste of time. If the Triumvirate truly did create our world, then we must thank them, for they are very generous and righteous gods. Perhaps one day, though, we will know the truth. Algus Veyer.
Vaylor. Okay. Well, true. I mean, like... you cannot dwell on the unknown, especially if it's not currently relevant. Though, I suppose that if the... Triumvirates are, like, doing horrible things, then, yeah, we should take... that into consideration. It's being created by them. So that's one book. Here's another book. Last time Fortin came over, he left his journal. Of course he has nothing to hide, and he's always open. I have to benefit from his writings. He's smarter than he lets on.
On Scribes and Visions. The Scribe of Valinor is a very important position, and one not to be taken lightly. Tasked with hearing and interpreting the visions of the seer or seeress, they bear a large mental burden. The spirits have their own language, and many visions are cryptic in nature. Though visions have become more clear over time, they started out as a mess of metaphors and confusion. It's almost as if, over many years, the realm of spirits has found ways to communicate more efficiently. This is interesting for many reasons. We must wonder if the realm of spirits is a physical entity, capable of growing and learning. There is no real explanation for this growing level of clarity in communication. It is widely believed that the realm of spirits hosts the souls of those who have left our world, but nobody has ever actually communicated with the dead or seen a long-lost loved one. Instead, these spirits grant visions of the future to those capable of witnessing them. Almost like a warning, they've helped keep Valinor safe, and Alestia by extension. Either way, because the visions have become more straightforward, the scribe is more of a ceremonial position. Rather than carrying any real weight, it is just an attempt to continue Valinor's tradition. Recently, Valinor has given the scribe their own protege, someone to take over if the worst should happen. For this reason, I study valiantly under Valessa. Fortem.
Fortem! Yay! We got a pronunciation! His name is Fortem. And third book. On the True Reach of the Spirits. Sorry that I like reading through all the lore and stuff. It's just how I like playing through the game the first time. A very divisive topic, and one that's always debated.
The True Reach of Spirits. It is a widely held belief that plant life is a container for spiritual energy. Because this energy is so pure, residents of forested areas tend to lead a happier and more fulfilling life. While many are frightened at the ability for the spirits to influence our mood, they have yet to do so in a negative fashion. To this end, many people actively seek out homes in areas surrounded by nature and this positive energy. Whether negative or positive, being influenced with unknown intent is concerning to many people. It seems to be tolerated simply because the power helps in a beneficial way. What if the realm of spirits were to lash out and make us aggressive or worse? What if they are conditioning our minds to slowly bend to their will? At that point, they could make us do any manner of bidding. This is the thought that also keeps many away from such areas of Alestia. But as there are numerous large cities, finding a home that suits your belief is far from impossible. Many ask the Triumvirate to speak on this, but they remain ever silent on the matter. Is it possible that not even our rulers know the true nature of the spirits and their reach? August Veyer.
Well, I suppose that, if you're not able to, like, do anything about it, and it doesn't do anything wrong, then, you know, you might as well just accept it. You're about to visit a world map for the first time. Click the question mark at the bottom corner for a tutorial. The story flow and exploration will be explained in more detail. Alright, our house. You can go to Main Street. Oh, so this is like a teleporter! Milas's house is all the way up there. Great Tree, we've seen that in our vision. Basically, we've been everywhere. There's the water tank where I died. I'll stick to my house for a little while. This character is not in your party. Well then, forget that. I'll just leave. Or, you know what? I think I'll just end it here. It is coming up to 30 minutes, so I'll think, I think I'll end it here. Okay, if you like this part, go ahead and hit that like button, and I definitely would like for you to leave behind a comment. I love to hear some feedback. Otherwise, I hope to see you guys next time.